All right, I want to make a quick video here. My DIY milling setup. Yep, MS170. Baby, baby, baby. Do a lot of wood projects that are very small pieces of wood, and sometimes it's just easier when you have a plethora of wood here to just make your own. So found this log here. We're gonna go ahead and get this one started. Best thing to do is cut off all the excess to make it not even. For that I use an electric saw, Little Time Craftsman, and then you'll see I'll put some pieces to hold it and get this going. All right, so I just went ahead and put a couple stoppers on each side of this. Because I'm using such a small kind of ghetto setup here, it's important to understand how wide your log is with bark and that it actually fits in here, which that's where we have a problem at. Which is easy. Just have to do some, shaving on this side and this side over here. Once we get rid of this bark, it won't be a problem. I'm gonna mill it down a couple layers first. But I think that's a pretty good plan for success, in my opinion, is to do it that way. It's also important to use another saw to shave the top. A lot of people use a ladder and a proper setup. We're just gonna use eyeball it basically, and then everything's gonna get planed anyways. So not that big of a deal. It's small, cheap stuff, but you're only as good as your very first cut. And that's something that I've had to learn kind of the hard way, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. One other thing I wanted to point out is that the way that I do this here on this log is the exhaust of this saw is headed down and towards my house, not towards my neighbor's house, okay? This is actually gonna be some stuff for them, but regardless, be kind to your neighbors. It's also a good idea to use in my opinion, the first two should be a lesser quality chain, or one that you're not as proud of. And then once you get into that really good stuff, essentially, the heartwood, I guess you call it, you really want that one to be the best chain possible, especially when you're using such a small saw. It's true of anything, but this significantly handicaps you by using this kind of a setup. But you'll see, it'll work out. Okay, just to reiterate, went ahead and used the electric saw to basically get all the bark off. So these particular pieces are not live edge, so the bark is of no use to me. It's covered in mold and stuff anyways, but I have a really good chain on that one right now, so we're definitely gonna try to not dull it. Went ahead and got top of this as flat as I could. It's not perfect, but like I said, everything else is gonna be planed out. These boards usually end up about a 1/4 inch thick, maybe a little more, 3/8, whatever. And I mean, they could be 1/2 inch if I really nail this, but I'm anticipating right around 3/8 is where the finished size that I'm going for. And then they're gonna get laser burned or whatever. But yeah, this is the setup. And then from here, this homemade setup should be able to slice right through relatively quickly. One thing I've noticed is I need a handle on that. Put my right hand on, because pushing on the bar is kind of a pain in the butt. But yeah, enough talking, let's get working. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Plane it and you'll be good to go. Let's make another one. finished results. It's just too slow to show you the whole thing, really. But with this little tiny setup, MS170, homemade DIY everything, it's not terrible. It's not the straightest board ever. That's okay. It's definitely got some curve in the center. This is the worst of the bunch. But again, you hit it with a planer, it'll be fine. They're just signs that hang on the door. Or shelves. You can do a bunch of stuff. And it's only going to be as good as that first cut. That first one is just critical. So larger ones will have something that you have the saw prop up on. I could certainly do that with this thing, but it's truthfully not worth it to me. So this is what we got.